Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Superpower Review, the show that brings you news and reviews on comic book things. I'm your host, Kevin Vidinha. This Wednesday, it was a great new comic book day, and we got the new Venom #1 that came out. Great story. So we're going to be talking about Venom #1. We're going to break it down a little bit, give it a review. If you have not read this issue yet, then I suggest to not watch this episode. Read it first, then come back on. To help me talk about this topic, I brought on my good friend, and I call him my Venom specialist, Joe Reed. What's up, Joe?
What's up, man?
Nothing
Glad
much.
to be back.
Yes, it's been a while, so thanks for coming back on the show, and thanks for messaging the show like, hey, this came out. You want to do a review about it? I was like, of course I do. You know I do.
Yeah, this one definitely deserves a review.
It does. It does. You are so right. So let's we won't get too much into story. You know, let's just stay really loose and just talk about this issue. What did you think about this issue? What did you like and what didn't you like? If there was anything you didn't like.
Mainly, first and foremost, I do like the art style of Ryan Stegman, so that was a treat. It's just a very different and like fresh take that this series seriously needs, or better yet, this character. A lot of the stuff that they're doing, like with they're going into the medieval times.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. They're diving into the history of the symbiote or Venom, but obviously they've been on planet Earth before. They've been around for a while. That's pretty neat. The art, the grittiness, the brutality of it, I just like it. It's refreshing. It's what's been lacking.
It is refreshing. Ryan Stegman does a great job with the artwork. Was fantastic, and he did the cover on this one too, I believe, right? Ryan Stegman.
Yes.
Yeah. What was the one that? Oh man, I couldn't find the other one, but I think he's like kind of like crouched on top of like a car maybe or something.
Oh, Paulo Rivera.
Yes,
He's
that one. Yeah. I couldn't find that one, but that one was definitely really cool. I like the green Venom logo on the cover.
Yeah, I agree. That is really nice. I like when they make the logo green. I've been relying strictly on pre-orders because I'm tired of the scalping game around here.
You and me both.
I'm still waiting for a few things to show up, but it's just the scalpers, man.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But it's definitely really cool to see in this book the symbiote being aggressive. We haven't, it's been kind of like Marvel's been kind of like holding the symbiote back a little bit, I feel, and not really expressing its anger because I don't know, it's an evil entity in my mind. We really see the ferociousness and the aggression in the symbiote in this issue. Finally.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they stick with it because, to be honest, Venom issue 150, it kind of did that. Like how he threw the guy against the wall and pretty much killed him.
Yeah. And
it immediately wanted to land before crime. And what was that?
That was horrible.
Why? Who's reading this? 10-year-old kids or adults?
Dinosaurs. If there's dinosaurs in my comic books, I give up. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
It was a cool concept, but it just wasn't done right, man. It just, I don't know. This kind of like going hand in hand with the movie. It's got like a movie feel to it. I feel like I'm reading a movie. I don't feel like I'm reading a comic book.
Right. For adults, finally. So we got Ryan Stegman for art. We got Donny Cates for story. Do these guys match up well when it comes to art and story?
I think so far, yeah, they do. Like, Donny Cates is kind of new to me. I'm not going to lie. I kind of focus on Venom only.
Yeah, he's pretty new to me too.
The Cosmic Ghost Rider grabbed my attention, and then when I read it, the way it was worded, everything about it was just really good.
Yeah.
So what he's doing to this comic so far, the way he's going about everything, it's really good. I haven't read, like, most comics will have, you'll read some stuff and it's like, this is really good, and then there's a whole bunch of just jumbled words in there that you could just kind of skip over all the time. I read every word, every voice bubble, every thought, everything.
Oh yeah, I read this thing today. I read it yesterday, and before the show, I had to like skim it one more time. But so let's talk a little bit about story here. So we have a nightmare scene. Brock and the symbiote are having a nightmare through medieval times. So we're definitely seeing that the symbiote is a lot older than what we thought, and it's been on Earth a lot older than what we thought too.
Right. My thing is it Venom or is it a friend of mine suggested, he had a theory it could be Venom's father, where he came from.
Ooh.
There's a lot of good stuff like that just comes to mind thinking about it, so I'm very intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah, so this book really unsolved is revealing a lot of mysteries. It builds a lot of question marks in your head. It's very intriguing. It's like eating a piece of cake. Like, oh man, this is so good. It definitely gets interesting. And then we won't get too much into story, but in this alleyway we see Venom kind of manifest in a different way that we've never seen Venom before. He has a weird marking on his head. We don't see the normal eyes. He's got a red logo on his chest, not white, and it's not a spider. And I'll tell you, I'll show you at the end what I think that logo is. It's definitely not a spider, but at the last page, we get this like winged creature, demon-like, and the symbiote kind of mentions that it's God. God is coming. So, Joe, what does this entail, you think?
Now, the thing is, when I first saw it, I just took it as the red spider logo was distorted and just kind of...
Me too.
I don't know.
I thought the same way.
I didn't think that, but you pointed it out before we talked. And I gotta completely agree, man. Even just sitting here looking at it right now, like the wings are exactly like the logo on his chest. So
yeah,
I also believe the swirl on the face is some sort of symbol from the dead language that it keeps speaking. So something's definitely going on. It's got all the symbiotes possessed. They're acting weird. The symbiote keeps telling Eddie that something is in its mind making it like act weird, and Eddie keeps thinking to himself that it's like it's broken, like it's going crazy.
Right.
And before it changes, he sees something happen that, of course, turns into Venom, jumps in. But when he jumps in, this is why I like Donny Cates. He starts writing from Eddie's perspective, like, this is where I just become a passenger, and I'm screaming at it, and it's not responding, and all I hear is laughter and screaming. So it just completely took him over, and a few times throughout the story, like later on, the symbiote will do something like that. It'll change or do whatever, and it'll come back to normal and apologize. Like, I didn't mean to do that. Something's doing this to me.
Right.
So that's pretty neat.
It is. It's pretty deep. So are we going to finally see a deeper origin story for the symbiote? I kind of hope so, and it looks like it's leading to that, actually. And the thing you brought up about the dead language that we saw in the book, so this even proves to us how, questions really begs the question, how old are these symbiotes?
Well, from the looks of the medieval times, I'd say they're pretty old.
Yeah.
The one thing that's cool about it, too, is the new character that we get introduced to, the first appearance, of Rex.
Yes.
I forget his last name right off bat, but he seems to know more about the symbiote than Eddie does. And he's telling him about just things that Eddie already knows, and literally pulls his card. Like, so you've been having any weird dreams lately? Like, that character kind of interests me, mainly because he does a throwback to the Agent Venom series, like the beginning, and brings up Project Rebirth. He kind of says something. I've had to reread it a few times because I initially had a theory that he was the host the government chose before Flash that bonded and went crazy, and they detonated the bomb and killed him.
Yeah.
Go back and read all this. They literally tell Flash that before he gets the suit, and they explain to him they got a bomb implanted in it and all this good jazz. The guy's got scars all over him, and he says something of, you think that you or Flash were the first? Like, not by a long shot, buddy.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
That piques my interest, because I seriously am, like, I was skeptical about Agent Venom at first, but once I started reading the series, it was really good. Everything about it was good, and then it started to fall off. So for this to reach all the way back to that, it's just like I said, man. It's the Venom comic I've been waiting for 6, 7 years. I don't even know how long.
Touche. Yeah, it really is. And me too. And the last name is Strickland, by the way. It's Rex Strickland.
Yes.
That whole scene in this book is actually one of my favorite parts of this whole entire book, where he's interrogating Eddie. Do you know where your symbiote comes from? Do you know its name?
Yes.
That was a huge piece of this whole book. Do you know its name? So maybe down the road of this whole story, maybe we'll even have a name for the Venom symbiote.
We absolutely will. I know Kate said that some of the stuff that he's going to be doing with this story is going to be long-lasting into the future of Venom, and giving Venom an actual name, that's long-lasting into the future. So, to me, that was the only thing that I kind of didn't like. Like, I totally get it, but come on now. Like, we got symbiote, we got Venom, we got what, Clintonar, or however you say it. I don't even know how you say it. Like, how many names do we got to have? Like,
I can see your point of view. I understand that. Yeah.
And it is long lasting, but I want something else to be long lasting.
Yeah. Right.
I'm hoping there's more cool things coming up.
But this whole scene, interrogation scene, was really good. Are you disappointed, or what's your thoughts about Eddie Brock? As readers, we thought he was the first person to have a symbiote. Are you kind of upset that he wasn't?
No, because number one, Peter Parker was the first, and then...
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, yeah, right.
If you want to get really, really technical, I mean, Wade Wilson was before Eddie. I think it's really cool because, like I said, it just kind of... I can already tell that this is going to go way back in a time where we're going to see that Venom has been around for a while. And like you said, he kind of is like an evil force, and that mainly comes from the host or whatever. If he's been around that long and he's had this many hosts, like, it's going to have some sort of evilness to it, like how he was how we've been waiting for him to just unleash, like.
Oh yeah, he unleashes all right. He gouges a guy's eyeballs out. That's great.
Yeah,
we actually
awesome.
See blood in this comic.
Yes, about time. And I like that they have a lot of cussing, but they're all like blurred out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I like that too.
Like I said, man, this isn't kid books.
No, we're all done with that. You brought up the fact of Deadpool having the symbiote first. I try to forget about that, just for the viewers out there. I try to forget about that book series. I try to forget that Deadpool was the first person to have the symbiote, and then Spider-Man, and then Brock. I try to forget all that.
Right. To me, that's a total cash grab, and I'm a sucker for symbiotes, so that's the only reason I have it is because it's Venom related. If it was some other character that Wade, interfered with it, I wouldn't collect it. I wouldn't read it. They got me.
So how deep? I wonder how deep this rabbit hole really is going to go with this whole story.
It seems pretty deep.
So pretty much. What happens next after the interrogation? Eddie Brock is going to help Rex with finding out more into the symbiote, right?
Well, Rex apparently was a part of a special ops team, and they all had symbiotes, which he eventually broke free from, but the other guys went crazy. Yeah. The government had them on ice, and they were going to be terminated because S.H.I.E.L.D. had them stored or whatever, and then S.H.I.E.L.D. fell apart, I guess, and they were just going to destroy him. And Rex was telling Eddie that they were originally good guys, and that can't be how their story ends. They were going to go rescue these guys. But everything just goes out of control, and we see these guys are supposed to be, I don't know, sleeping or something. Yes, that's a total throwback to Spawn, like a node to Spawn, and I think that is so cool.
It is. This was a great page, full page of him just crashing through that truck. That was a great page.
Yeah, man. That's like a node to Todd McFarlane, to Spawn, to whatever you want to call it. Like that was cool. But yeah. So these guys have been, I guess, I don't know, they're not active, and once he goes to retrieve him out of the truck, all the symbiotes become active, but they are all possessed.
Yeah.
Just like Venom was earlier, and then immediately Venom's symbiote just leaves him totally exposed. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and the symbiote, like I said, the symbiote apologizes, like, I didn't mean to do that.
So something is obviously controlling these symbiotes, and we don't know what it is.
Right. But it could be, obviously, whatever it was in the beginning that we read, if that's not Venom, but some sort of family descendant or something, whatever that was, that's what's causing all this. And I don't know if it's that winged demon. I don't know what.
I mean, it's got to be. He refers it as God, and then that was the last page, and we see this flying creature flying around during a storm. Man, this book entails lots of craziness for the next couple of issues of Venom. I hope they kind of keep this tone for these Venom books. I hope they keep this. I hope the story, the author, stays with it. Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman for art, because I think they're a really good pair. They're doing what we got for number one was way better than what we got for 150 and the restart of number one with I can't remember his name, but he turns into Maniac. Yeah, thank you. But this is way better than this. This is promising.
It's very promising, and it may be coinciding with the release of this. But it's like I said, it's like reading a movie. It's not like you're reading a comic, but like I said, read this and then read Land Before Crime, and you will notice the difference.
A huge difference. They're not even the same world.
Like you said, I really hope these two stick together for a while, at least Donny Cates, because almost every Venom comic, the writers and the artists are constantly switching up, and that is the reason why we have what we have now. Like, there's so many good Venom books, and then there's so many crap Venom books. And
yeah.
These two are doing a really good job. I'm not sure if it's like selling out all over the place. I don't see why it's not, but I'm just hoping that this book continues to move with these guys.
So after reading this issue of Venom number one, what grade would you give this book?
I'd give this one definitely a 9. 9. I'm not going to go full 10 because the next issue could just turn around and completely suck like all the other books have been doing. But for this particular issue, it's definitely a 9.
Hey, with number ones, it's strategy. Number one is always that teeth sinker where they just want to they grab you by the hook, they cast out and they grab you like, we got you now. And then after a while, it could possibly suck. We don't want that to happen, of course, especially us, if we're huge Venom fans, we want to keep this tone. But it is just strategy to always make number one super, super good, where it makes you just keep buying them more and more and more. Hopefully they are good. I want them to stay really, this tone. But man, all of these mysteries that were in this book really had me like, there were like 2-3 times, maybe even 4, where I'm reading this book and I'm like, oh man, like what's going to happen with this? Like what are they going to do with that now? What are they going to do with this story? So this is definitely it's a mystery book. Okay, it can unravel any way.
It really could. And at this point, I honestly do not know where it's going to go, especially with the symbiote god or whatever that just came out of the ground. And the thing is, all the symbiotes from the guys that they were going to get saved got taken away from them, and this came out of the ground. But I'm not sure if it came out from another location or if that was what was in the truck, because Eddie was saying there's something else in the truck.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but I was just like, wait a minute, did that just come out of the truck? Did that just come out from another location? I'm not sure, but like I said, it has me not knowing what's going on with the whole medieval times, the whole symbiotes being possessed. I really like that it was reaching back with all the older Venom comics, even with Eddie Brock with his long hair again.
Yeah, I
that's
like that. That was
Separation
different.
Anxiety days. Like that's like the '90s Eddie Brock. So that was cool. And
What a difference a hairstyle can do.
when he came back and he still had his crew cut, it was like, oh, okay, But with his long hair and with everything that he's dealing through, like I don't know, it gives more depth to him. I don't know if that sounds weird, but you can just see that he's just really going through a lot of stuff with everything that's going on, especially in this book.
Well, if I have to give this book a grade, I'm actually going to go higher here. This is one of the best books I have read in a while. I'm not going to compare it to my last comic book review when it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman, because that's a different kind of tone. This is a team up. I got to give this a 9.4. It was definitely one of the most interesting newer books I have picked up. I believe I said in my last episode, I haven't been picking up a lot of new books because I just lost interest, but this one has my interest. This one has a lot of mysteries that are waiting to be solved. I'm interested to seeing how they're going to solve these little tiny mysteries. It's dark, it's gritty, the story's good. The story sets up for a lot of things for the future. The artwork is really good. This is a book that if you guys are Venom fans, if you're excited for the Venom movie, you have to pick up this book up because it's a really good fresh start.
It really is. And it's been a long time, and like I said, I'm just hoping it keeps going and doesn't do what Venomverse and like Venom 150 did.
Oh, Venomverse. Don't even get me going on Venomverse.
The first issue, we did a review for that, and I read it, I was like, oh, cool, it's like kind of gritty, the art's good, everything's good, and then the next issue, just, what happened?
What happened? It's the
I'm
same
hoping
thing
it
with
doesn't
Venom
do-
Inc. Venom Inc. started really good. We didn't do a review here for Venom Inc. because after a while, that Venom was the only thing I was reading, and I don't want to do saturate the YouTube channel with Venom reviews. But Venom Inc. was the same thing. Started off really good, and then just by like, I don't know, issue 3 maybe, issue 4, around that area, it just kind of started like,
It really sped up, and
it sped up way too fast, and then it died
Yeah.
really, really slowly.
there was a few things in that I was kind of excited about, and the way it ended, like it just didn't go anywhere near what I was hoping to happen. Number one, I kind of wish Agent Anti-Venom, whatever you want to call him, like just like Agent Venom did, when he starts getting like overpowered and brutalized, like, and he's just starting to lose control. Like, I want the symbiote to get a mouth. I want it to get bigger.
Yeah.
It just seems to be stuck in that little tiny Agent Venom mode.
Yeah.
And then Lee Price infected Matt Gargan.
Yes, he
And
did.
I was expecting him to just go like backfire on everybody, including Lee Price, and just go completely AWOL and run off with the symbiote, which he just pretty much got manhandled like instantly by Agent Venom in a weird, dumb way, and that kind of let me down. Not to get too sidetracked, but what was it? Venom 1 issue 65.
Yeah.
See Matt Gargan as a Scorpion. He's going after Eddie Brock, claiming he wants his suit back. So that's something that I would hope that these guys pick up on,
That was
because
cool,
the way Donny Cates writes, and with how Matt Gargan was as a host, where he was just completely psychotic and violent and a cannibal, we could get a really good comic book. It just needs to be consistent.
I really hope we do see that, because, there was, like what you brought up with Agent Venom, where he loses control. There's a pretty iconic book, the one where it's like kind of like the split face. You see like the regular symbiote that we know, the regular Venom we know, and the Agent Venom. There's a part in there where he just eats a person, and that was a great part. That makes me like, when I was reading that, like, yes, eat him. So
Dude, I feel you one.
I think I would like to see more of that in here. That Venom's gross. He's horrific. He's got really sharp teeth. Use those sharp teeth.
Exactly. I mean, if they want to have kids buying comic books, then do Ultimate Spider-Man Disney XD Venom books.
Do it all day, but leave it out of here.
Yeah, leave this alone.
This is for us, okay? Do this for us, please.
And that book, real quick, the Agent Venom one, the John Tyler Christopher face, that was one of the issues that sold me on that series when I was like still kind of skeptical about the whole Agent Venom thing.
Yeah, agreed. Same here. I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna buy it because I like Venom. I don't know if I agree with like him looking like this or Flash Thompson having it, but I'll read it and see how it goes. But after you lost control a couple of times, I'm like, you know what? That I just need that little piece of violence in this book to keep it going.
Pretty much. I mean, how old are you? How old am I? We're not freaking little kids. We're grown adults reading comic books. So if we're going to be doing that, it needs to be good. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Someone that doesn't read this to be like, what is he reading? Look at this kid crap, and be like, oh wow, this is really good.
Oh, I get it. Well, Joe, that's that's the end of our episode. I want to thank you so much for coming back on Superpower Review. It's always a great time to not only have you on the show, but just nerd about Venom, one of our favorite characters. So thank you so much for being on.
Not a problem, man. I appreciate it.
And that's going to do it for today's episode. If you want to be a guest like my friend Joseph Reed was today, you can always email the show at superpowerreview9@gmail.com or shoot me a message on Instagram. That's fine too. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more from the channel, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section below on what you thought about the new Venom #1. See you later, guys.